Hey everybody, it's Thursday night and it's time to talk about movies. I'm your host Vincent Didiano. This is my show, the POVincent podcast. With me tonight, instead of my usual comedic comrade Eric Williams, who's got a gig tonight, we've got Brian Crawford, host of River Talk and man behind the River's Edge.
I'm here and it's my last night free, baby. Going back to overnight right after this.
So please,
the late
donate.
Shift.
Get this man out of working at his job.
Yes, please. We've got a Patreon account, by the way. Just go to riversedgepgh.com and give me money.
and keep it.
And we can make that happen.
Please do that. Help this man, because the more this man gets helped, the more it helps me. All right? And do keep an eye out for the POVincent Patreon account that'll be opening up later this week. Anyway. I keep meaning to get around.
Competing Patreon accounts.
Give it to him first. Give just a few bucks.
Split it up. Share the love.
Yeah, give me at least a $5. Throw me a $5 up there. But yeah, no. So last week, we had to cancel the show due to I got moved around my work, which much like Brian, get me out of there.
Yes, we went free. Freedom.
No.
Freedom! You know, I'm actually related, possibly, to William Wallace, so I can say that on air and it be legitimate.
Well,
his mother was a Crawford, and I'm a Crawford, so I'm just assuming that I'm probably related.
Well, now we got to do an episode talking about
Braveheart.
Yeah, we got to go Braveheart, baby. Back in a day and age before Mel Gibson was crazy, or at least that we knew about it. We were just like, well, he's a really good actor. Aren't
we all a little crazy?
We are a little crazy, but I'm not crazy enough to like hate the Jews. I'm just saying.
That's pretty crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
That's beyond crazy, though. Because crazy is kind of cool, but that's just that's a step beyond crazy.
Exactly. I think we're eccentric.
Yes.
But that's just fucking crazy. But anyway, tonight on the show, everybody, for movie news, we're going to talk about everything from Alec Baldwin was going to be in the next Joker film, or the upcoming Joker film, I should say, to Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel Studios, winning an award. In our middle segment tonight, we have a guest on. Comedian Zach Cieply is on the show tonight.
Fantastic.
And he's going to be talking about some of the vacation experiences as well as his show he does on Friday nights. And then because we were canceled last week, I wanted to make it up to everybody. We're going to be doing 2 movie reviews tonight, baby.
Ooh,
yes,
2. A BOGO.
Oh, yes.
Buy one, get one for nothing.
For nothing.
Because it's a free show.
Just watch my show. I need the views.
We do have the Patreon, though, so you can pay.
You can't pay.
It's like one of those shows, the pay what you want shows, and usually they end up making more money because people pay more, but nobody's paid us yet.
Nobody's paid us yet. We need gas money, and rent is coming up, people. Help us to entertain you. Anyway, and then, so the 2 movies we're doing tonight are The Happy Time Murders, starring Melissa McCarthy. That'll be our first movie review. And our second movie review is going to be Kin, starring an actor that I've really never seen before, but we'll talk about that later. Jack Rayner? Yeah, I don't know who he is, but anyway, we'll get around to that. So first, we're going to get around to movie news, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, a lot of stuff going on. We've talked about a lot about the DCEU on this show before. The DC Extended Universe. That's the movie universe where we got Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, which me and Eric always rag on that on that movie every time the show happens, but I guess we'll try to avoid it tonight. All those Wonder Woman, which is really the only big success they've had so far. But because they've had so many
The actress is great in that.
Oh, Gal Gadot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really surprised.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, no, she pulled it off, and I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure about her, but she did it. She's Wonder Woman to me. I give her that. So yeah, right now I think the whole DCU is just hanging on Wonder Woman to keep it afloat,
Well, it's weird for to me it's inverted in some ways. So like DC is not very good at the whole movie universe thing. Where Marvel,
except for their animated films. Their animated films are pretty good.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
And also their television series, I think, are superior, and that's my opinion.
Yeah, the Arrowverse, any of the shows, they've had their off seasons. Arrow's going into its 7th season soon, and it's definitely had some seasons where I'm like, that didn't work out, but it's definitely had some great seasons. Same thing for The Flash and Supergirl and all that stuff. But because of the problems with DCU, they've started to expand. They're doing spin-off films or films that are actually outside the universe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So coming up, we got the Joker origin movie, which we talked about previously on the show. The Joker is going to be played by Joaquin Phoenix, which I feel comfortable with his casting. I think he can pull this character off. And it was announced 2 days ago, only 2 days ago, and I was excited to talk about this, that Alec Baldwin, who, won an award last year for his portrayal of Donald Trump on SNL. That he was going to be cast as Thomas Wayne, Batman's dad, in this Joker origin movie. Yeah, right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and I think he's a good fit for the role. And then literally a day and a half later, it's announced that he's pulled out of the Joker movie.
Wow.
Like, what? So according to an article on Variety.com, just 2 days after it was announced that Alec Baldwin would be playing Batman's father, Thomas Wayne, in Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, he's revealed that he's exited the project. Variety confirmed the news on Wednesday after the actor told USA Today that he'd be dropping out, saying, "I'm no longer doing that movie," he told the outlet. "I'm sure there are 25 guys who can play that part."
Isn't that part of the problem with DC in general, though? The entire concept of this Joker movie being outside of the universe. Marvel, at least in the world view of Disney, has been very committed to a storyline. Whether something works or not, they tend to look at the big picture, and they're unwilling to budge from that.
No.
Whereas in DC, they have the slightest hiccup, potentially, and they're willing to immediately abandon ship and start looking at different options.
Well, here's the big difference. It just seems like from the beginning, Marvel had a plan. They were like, we're going to make a few good movies, right? Yeah. Hopefully they'll do well. We're going to get an Iron Man out there, which was a kind of a risky thing because if you're a comic book guy, you know Iron Man. But the general public is not as familiar with Iron Man.
But they casted so well.
Oh, Robert Downey Jr. just pulled it off. You know, it's so much of the success of the MCU is to him in a way because of his awesome portrayal of Tony Stark. But it just seems like they had a plan. They were like, we're going to do some good movies with our biggest hitters: Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. Those guys. We're going to bring in the Hulk. You know, and then if it all works out, we're going to do an Avengers movie and hope it worked out, and it did.
Well, not only that, they pulled out the Avengers movie, and Robert Downey Jr. could have easily just been the main character that stole the show, but instead they decided to experiment more, and knowing that they had this audience and knowing how good of an actor he is and some of the other actors in the film, they took more chances, and they made Bruce Banner, in my opinion, the Joel of the original Avengers movie.
Oh, yeah, no, because like...
And I thought that that's something that would have been easy to not do.
Right, they really did a good job because, you know, originally... they did the Hulk movie with, what's his name?
The Japanese one? Is that what you're talking about?
No, not the one with Eric Bana. No, I'm talking about the Ed Norton one. They did that one that was part of the, cause the Japanese one, that was like before the MCU happened. And Ed Norton pulled out because apparently he's very controlling on the movies he works on. But then they got Mark Ruffalo, and Mark Ruffalo, Edward Norton, he did a good job as Bruce Banner, but Mark Ruffalo was a far superior Bruce Banner. On top of the fact, in the previous Hulk films, the actor playing Bruce Banner was never actually the Hulk doing the motion capture stuff.
Okay.
But Mark Ruffalo is Bruce Banner, and he does all the motion capture work for the Hulk.
Oh, that's
so you're getting Mark Ruffalo no matter who you're seeing on screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the problem. Like, it just seems like with the DC movies, they don't have a plan. With Marvel, there seems to be a plan. I'm sure, like, MCU tries to account for, like, problems that happen, right? Because, the first couple Thor films, people have had issues with those. I think they get more heat than they deserve. I'm not saying they're the best of the MCU, but I still think they're better than people give them credit. I know a lot of people have issues with them, and then they also not even have the movies. They got the TV shows. They've had Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They have had Agent Carter. They've had the Netflix shows with Daredevil, which season 1 Daredevil was fantastic.
Are they ever bringing that back, or is that just gone?
I'm not sure what the exact thing going on with Daredevil is right now. I know there's something going on, but they haven't released any set photos. I'm hoping so because Daredevil is basic.
It was great.
Yeah, it was great.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, season 2, not as good as season 1, but still nice.
It was still good. Very good.
Oh, yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Because Daredevil is the Iron Man of the Netflix shows. You know, he started the whole thing. Because then we got Jessica Jones was good. We got Luke Cage was good. Iron Fist, not so good. But hopefully, based on what we've seen in Defenders and Iron Fist being in an episode of last season of Luke Cage, hopefully this new season of Iron Fist will be a lot better. But yeah, so it just goes to show that things are just falling apart because he's pulling out of this Joker movie, and when you go into the main DCEU with the movies that we've been getting so far, the Aquaman movie that went through a few directors before they nailed one down. The Flash movie that keeps getting pushed back. I just read earlier today that it looks like it's getting pushed back another year. Right now they're just kind of hoping that Aquaman, which comes out in December, that movie does well. I'm not sure. I mean, I kind of wanted to do well just because I like Jason Momoa. He seems like a really cool guy. And then Shazam, which I'm kind of excited for Shazam. Shazam seems like they're really embracing the kid-like fun of a kid superhero.
That's good.
But so unfortunately, Alec Baldwin's pulling out the project. I thought that was going to be a good fit. He says in the article, I'm sure 25 other guys can do it, but I would like to have him.
Why did he say that he didn't want to do it? Why did he decide to pull out? Was there a reason?
Baldwin also cited scheduling issues to USA Today, but just earlier on Wednesday, he had taken to Twitter to dispel rumors that Thomas Wayne would be inspired by Donald Trump. So I think he was having a little fun there. But yeah, it's mostly scheduling issues, unfortunately. But yeah.
But the thing is that shows how weak the DC universe is. If it's so weak that someone could cite scheduling issues, if it's going to be a major franchise that someone wants to be a part of, they're going to overcome that, right?
Yeah, I'd like to think...
And you would think someone like DC would have the money to entice someone to overcome that.
Oh, yeah, because it's Warner Brothers, baby. It's the WB. They have a lot of money. You know, they don't have Disney money, but they got enough money. So I'm disappointed in that. But anyway, we're going to move on to our next story. This one is also some casting stuff. So I'm really excited about this. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the best doctors of the modern Doctor Who era, Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor, is being cast in the next Star Wars film, Episode 9, baby. I'm excited about this. I'm a big Doctor Who fan. I've been a fan since the 9th Doctor, Christopher Eccleston, Sir David Tennant, Matt Smith. We just had Peter Capaldi retire as a Doctor, and now we're moving on to... oh, my God, I'm such a jerk.
That's right. He just retired, too. I forgot.
Yeah. The new female Doctor who... I always forget her name. I feel such a...
It doesn't matter. We're talking about Matt Smith and his new role.
Yeah, so Matt Smith...
He's like the favorite... Well, actually, no. People don't like him. They like David Tennant better.
No. Well, there's some decisiveness about that. There's a lot of people who love Matt Smith. He did really well. The show
did a great job as what's his name? The Prince in The Queen, in the Netflix special.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get a chance to see that, but I heard,
he was fantastic.
Yeah, no, he's a good actor, and that's what makes him so charming. That's what made him a good Doctor. I really enjoyed him as a Doctor. I would still say David Tennant's actually, no, Peter Capaldi. I would put Matt Smith in like second place at lowest, I would say. He was great. But yeah, according to article on cinemablend.com, Back and Let You Lie Star Wars Episode 9 delivered an announcement revealing what appeared to be a full cast for the blockbuster, featuring both expected names and a few new ones. Since then, however, the project has continued to add actors to its roster, and today we have a word that yet another talented performer has come on board. According to the new report, Doctor Who Matt Smith is now set to play a part in the J.J. Abrams directed chapter of the legendary sci-fi saga.
That's a shame. That's a black mark on his career if I've ever seen one. We're talking about the MCU in that universe.
Yeah.
Star Wars has gone the opposite direction for Disney, where they had this great plan laid out for Marvel. With Star Wars, it's literally throwing darts at a board and seeing what comes out of it. There's literally no plan in place for this franchise, and it's so frustrating as a Star Wars fan because I know
he was on our premiere episode talking about this.
Yes, and I thought that there was some hope when Disney purchased Star Wars because I thought, well, maybe they'll do to Star Wars what they did with Marvel, but no, it literally was just blindly walking through the studio and grabbing random people. I mean, how can you come up with a trilogy and not even have a basic framework storyline plotted down for, if you're going to go with multiple directors, at least a baseline storyline for them to follow? There's nothing. They're making it up as they go along. So I feel bad for Matt Smith because somebody who's been involved in a lot of good productions, this could definitely be a negative instead of a positive.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely gonna help bring in some of the Doctor Who fan base, because
they need whatever they can get because the Star Wars fans are running.
I know. They just on YouTube, Red Letter Media just released their Plinkett review of The Last Jedi, and if you haven't seen it, I recommend checking it out. Very funny, very informative. But yeah, so I'm kind of excited because, like I said, I'm a fan of Matt Smith. He's a good actor. He's not just wasn't good in Doctor Who. I've seen him in a few other things. He's good stuff. Because he was in Terminator Genesis, right? And he had a big role in that. You didn't see him much, but it was important. And we all know how that movie turned out. And because they're rebooting Terminator already, we got a new Terminator movie coming out it's like next year or like something like that. James Cameron is back behind the wheel of the movie, which is good. But when you reboot a movie in 3 years, that's like Amazing Spider-Man shit there. But yeah, so hopefully...
Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah. But now Marvel got them back, so hopefully we'll see them.
Isn't it sad that the best Fantastic Four movie was that one that was recorded with
90s?
like a random hand camcorder or something like that, where you had just like when Mr. Fantastic goes to grab something, you just see a random arm come from the side of the screen because they didn't have the technology to. Yeah. That's honestly the best Fantastic Four movie there is.
Because, it's like it didn't have any big name actors, but all of them are trying. All of them are.
They were all good. The actors were better than all the other ones.
Yeah.
The problem was the effects just couldn't.
Oh yeah, no, they made the movie for like just over $1 million, and I'm not exaggerating.
They spent $1 million on that thing?
Yeah, no, $1 million.
I thought like some sort of high school movie club filmed that.
No, it was some kind of German movie studio that had the rights to the movie, and they just made the movie to hold on to the rights. They told the actors on that film, "Oh yeah, we're going to release it in theaters," and when they were flat out lying to them, they were just made the movie to hold on to the rights. It was all a scam.
I thought it was a home movie. See, there we go. German efficiency, quality.
Yeah. But anyway, speaking of the MCU, because we've been talking about them a lot, let's move on to our next story and our final story before we go to our guest tonight. According to an article on Collider.com, Kevin Feige to be honored by the PGA with the David O. Selznick Achievement Award. Kevin Feige, of course, is the man behind Marvel Studios, and a big reason why the Marvel movies have done so well, partially because of his guidance, the other partially because Disney has given him a lot of freedom for Marvel Studios. They got some rules, they got some stuff they got to stick to, but for the most part, they've been letting him do his own thing.
Don't mess with the mouse.
That's right. The Producers Guild of America announced today that the Marvel Studios president, Kevin Feige, will be receiving the prestigious 2019 David O. Selznick Achievement Award, which recognizes a producer's body of work in motion pictures. Past recipients include David Heyman, who spearheaded the entire Harry Potter franchise, Charles Roven, who produced Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy and produces many current DCEU films. Maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud. Veterans like Jerry Bruckheimer, Kathleen Kennedy, who's in charge of the Star Wars franchise right now. I like how there's a few names on this list that are like, have been connected to the shit we've been talking about tonight.
Yeah. It's all like, it has been just like one giant loop.
Yeah. Frank Marshall, Scott Rudin, and Brian Grazer, and producing directors like Steven Spielberg and Clint Eastwood. So, this is a big thing for him. It just goes to show how far he's come and just how well these movies have all turned out. And it's just a well-earned award. I mean, no matter one of these days, like the MCU is going to start to like lose its traction.
It already has with me.
And
I've gotten bored with it. I mean, not that the movies have gone downhill.
Right.
It's just so much.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, since I don't watch all the Marvel shows. Like, I didn't watch like The Gifted, which was like an X-Men based show. I don't plan to watch Cloak and Dagger because there's so many movies and so many shows I'm watching right now. Like, I can't keep up with everything. Mm-hmm. But the whole MCU is an accomplishment, not just for like the superhero genre, but for just movies in general, because never before has there been such a big, expansive, deep, and quality movie universe like this, right? The closest thing that's ever come to it before that has success was back like 70, 80 years ago when you had the Universal monster movies where every once in a while one of the monsters would team up.
Yeah,
they had like Wolfman versus Frankenstein and stuff like that. But they just did that because they could,
Mm-hmm.
Because then you got all these, like I said, we got the DCU that has done well, right? They had the dark universe that they were trying to kick off last year with that Mummy movie that was just so disappointing. And, oh man, Tom Cruise is so bad in that film. God damn it, Tom. I mean, you got all the, like the Ghostbusters, the 2016 Ghostbusters movie. That was supposed to be a Ghostbusters expanded universe. They were going to do all these spin-off films and stuff, and that didn't happen because that movie. Goddamn Paul Feig. He just they're so angry about it. That was the funny thing about a Ghostbusters movie. It's like they went to Paul Feig because they heard he like wrote up a script for it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I kind of have a script ready." And it turned out like on the set of the movie, this came out after the movie came out. He didn't have that strong of a script, so he let the actors improv so much.
Wow.
And that's why the movie turned out so bad, because there wasn't a strong script to back them up.
That's crazy.
And it's okay to have actors improv on movies. Jim Carrey famously improvs a lot in his movies, but Jim Carrey is improving, not half or more of the cast is improving.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, I mean,
with no direction. That doesn't even make any sense.
Because because you had some good people. You had Melissa McCarthy, you had Kristen Wiig, you had cameos from the original cast. A lot of talented people in that movie. It turned out so bad. But anyway, just want to say congratulations to Kevin Feige. Well earned, man. The MCU has made its mark on cinema. it'll be unlikely that anything like this will happen again with such a movie universe that's done so well. Had its ups and downs, but the ups have been way more than the downs. So, congratulations once again, and hopefully Infinity War Part 2 will be fantastic.
Can he take over the Star Wars universe? Please?
That's, you know what? We're only a day away. Maybe that, I heard a rumor that he's retiring soon as the head of Marvel Studios, and that'll be the next thing. Like, yeah, guys, I'm retiring. It's been really great, having fun making superhero films, but, galaxy far, far away needs that Feige touch. I want to see that shit. That would
be great.
The Jedi are back. But anyway, we're going to move on to our middle segment today with our guest, comedian Zach Cieply. Zach, you've been waiting patiently, man. Thank you so much. How
Dude,
you doing?
you don't understand how hard it was for me to not start talking about stuff. Like, you said that the superhero's name was Shazam. And I was like, no, it's Captain Marvel.
Yeah, you're right. That is true.
Like, I was I was seething in my own head.
Here's the thing
for
about
like 5 minutes about that.
He did say the movie was named Shazam, and that is true.
Yeah, the movie's named Shazam. The thing is, for years, there's been a battle between Marvel and DC Comics because Marvel has a Captain Marvel,
yes,
right?
It does. Brie Larson.
Exactly. Her movie's coming out next year. I'm excited for that because apparently they've touted that she's going to be even stronger than Thor or Hulk. So I want to see this. She's going to be like their Superman, I guess. But yeah, so I think because legal issues, eventually DC just caved and they said, okay, you're Marvel. You can call your character Captain Marvel. We'll just go back to calling her character Shazam.
No, I don't think that's true. They still call it Captain Marvel, but they've historically never been able to refer to the comic book series as Captain Marvel.
Really?
They've always referred to it as Shazam, which is the magic word that the wizard who gave him his powers gave him to turn him into Captain Marvel.
Okay, I heard differently. I heard there was like a lawsuit involved in all that.
Well, there may have been, but they've always called the comic book series Shazam because of that specific issue.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure DC was just trying to fuck with Marvel.
Yeah.
And they were just like, what should we call this new superhero?
Come on, guys, go easy on us already. We're struggling over here. Give me a hit.
No, you have to be right because it just doesn't make any sense. Why would they pick that name of all names unless it happened before Marvel was official? No, but it couldn't have been because they've always called it Shazam from the beginning.
Well, the character existed before Marvel's Captain Marvel. I know that much.
Well, yes, but did it exist before Marvel used the term Marvel as the name of the company?
Yes, because there was a time where Marvel it was called something different way back in the day.
They all had different names.
Yeah, because DC stands for Detective.
Action, and it was Action Comics before.
Yeah, Action
DC,
Comics,
right?
and it became Detective Comics, and now they just, which is funny.
I don't think that's right. I think it was Action Comics and Detective Comics were separate things, and then they combined.
They merged. That makes sense because the first Superman was Action Comics. Right? Mm-hmm. Yes. Which I would love a copy of that thing. That's probably worth a mint. But anyway, Zach, I'm sorry we're keeping you drooling over here talking about stuff.
Jesus, I'm not that backwards, man. I'm not just sitting here over.
Anyway. So Zach, you took a trip to movie Fantasyland. You went to Universal Studios.
Yes,
right?
I did. I took my family there. I had an awesome time. But I real quick want to complain about one thing.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Like I said, it was a wonderful time. I love Universal Studios. It's a great place. I like Disney a little bit better just because, there's way more to do. But while I was doing Universal, there was a ride there. It's called Men in Black. I don't know if you're familiar with the film.
I've heard about it. I've heard about it.
Well, first off, all the rides there have those big warning posters. If you're pregnant, blah, blah, blah. And I'm epileptic.
Oh.
So all of them say, if you're epileptic, be careful on this ride. I was riding 10 rides, had no problems whatsoever. There wasn't even strobe lights or anything flashing. Men in Black ends with this gigantic explosion with strobe lights that take up your entire field of vision. So I'm just sitting there on the ride shooting aliens. Oh, having a great time. Oh, fuck you, dude. And I've seen the movie, so I'm shooting the little girls too because I know that's extra points.
God bless you.
And all of a sudden there's this big strobe light, and I damn near go full out seize. So this is the end of the night. There's maybe time for one more ride, and I'm just sitting there just fuck, oh my god, my head is so messed up. I can't even do it. We get to the next ride, which was the Jimmy Kimmel ride, which wait,
Jimmy Kimmel has a ride?
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel has a ride, which is I knew that going.
Please tell me it's a man show ride. I want to see that.
No, or not Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy
Fallon.
Fallon.
Okay.
Jimmy Fallon. Yeah. But he has a ride for some fucking reason. I do not get that at all.
Yeah, I'm confused by I don't hate Jimmy Fallon or anything.
No, but you have the entire Universal Studios lineup,
right?
And you can put whatever movie in there. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be just a gift shop. There's no reason that there should be a Jimmy Fallon ride.
Right. What was part of the ride his movie with Queen Latifah where they're racing in a taxi cab?
Well, it very well may have been. I didn't go on that ride because I was still all fucked up. But my wife was like, we were going on the ride. She was like, hey, do you feel like you can do this? I was like, no. She was like, oh, well, we can skip it if you want. I was like, no, I don't give a shit about the Jimmy Fallon ride. Just go ahead, have fun. I'm sitting there in the what's it called? The gift shop the entire time, and nobody is in there. No people want to be in the Jimmy Fallon shop because it's just the stupidest it's the stupidest ride.
Poor Jimmy.
They have walls and walls of merchandise, and it's the ET shop splits it with other sci-fi stuff.
Right.
The Jimmy Fallon shop is all Jimmy Fallon.
It's all Jimmy.
It's all Jimmy. So it's T-shirts.
How much can you have for one person?
Oh, all of his catchphrases, ew. That's a shirt.
Wow.
It was just funny to me because every ride I got off of, they put you through the gift shop, and you want to hang. People are hanging out there. Hey, look, I'm with the mummy. It's so cool. But the Jimmy Fallon ride, everybody was not just walking straight out of this. I don't even know why I did the ride. I don't know why I did it. It's the fourth highest rated talk show of that time slot out of 4.
Right. Out of the 4, we're in the top 4.
Yeah.
Good
no,
work.
but other than that, I had a great time. It was it's an awesome vacation. And if you get a chance to ever go, like I said, I like Disney just a little bit better because there's you can do Universal Studios in 3 days. There's 3 parks, you can do one each day. But with Disney, you can do a bunch of different parks. It's overcrowded and all that. But
with Disney, it's also a true world. When they call it Disney World, it's an actual world. It's crazy because they own so much land around the parks
it's
too.
Insane.
Oh yeah.
That you literally feel like you're entering a different country when you go into Disney World.
Yeah,
which is wild.
And it is the first time I went to Disney World was with my son for his Make-A-Wish trip, and it's awesome because you can you just coast right through the lines, which sounds awesome. It is not, because that means that you are always moving, you're always being spun.
You get exhausted before you get to the good stuff.
But the thing is, after you're 25, your stomach just can't handle that shit anymore.
Oh yeah.
So I just can't do it anymore where I'm just doing one ride. I went to Idlewild and had the same problem. It's not a crazy amusement park, but I'm still sitting there dude, hun, we got to tag out or something.
Do you get sick just walking in? As soon as I walk in, no, seriously. As soon as I walk into Kennywood, I start to get queasy.
No, I mean, when I walk into Idlewild, I get sick because of all the tattoos that are terrible. But that's the only thing that makes me sick about this.
Maybe I guess we should explain what Idlewild Park is to people who are not from Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's hard to explain. It's discount Kennywood, and if you're not from Pittsburgh, you don't know what Kennywood is.
Yeah.
Kennywood is our star attraction amusement park. It's the closest thing to Disneyland we have here in Pittsburgh. And Idlewild Park is half of what Kennywood can be. It's just
Kennywood is discount Six Flags.
Yeah. Oh, hey, we got it. Give me some. Boom.
No, but then Idlewild is the backwoods version of Kennywood.
Yeah.
And it's just very scary there.
Well, Idlewild's also more family friendly, kid friendly. Yeah.
Yeah, they got no Fright Nights in Idlewild Park.
Oh, actually they do.
Do they?
Halibu.
That's right.
Oh,
Kid themed. Yeah.
Yeah, kid themed.
Oh, kid themed. So it's nice, Gremlins.
Yeah.
We just want to play with you.
Now, did you notice when you were in Universal, was it super clean?
Yeah, it was way clean. I was actually surprised by that.
When I went there, I went to Islands of Adventure once when I was in high school, and I was wearing these flip-flops, and they were just killing my feet.
Ooh.
And it was so clean that I took them off and just walked barefoot. It was the cleanest
Wow.
park
Yeah, I don't
I'd
know
ever
about
been in.
that.
It was wild.
I wouldn't say it was that clean, but
It was when I went there, but it was also brand new, Islands of
Yeah,
Adventure,
okay,
when I was there. I think it was only like not even a year old at that
Oh,
point.
okay. So they didn't have to scrub anything yet.
Yeah.
It was still pretty. We got to give it another couple months, and we'll have to start scrubbing
Yeah.
stuff. That's when it's going to become visible.
Yeah,
Right now you can't see the shit.
my wife is a giant germaphobe. If I did that, she would literally not be in the same bed with me for the next week.
She's like, we're going to dip your feet in
No,
Clorox.
I would not be coming home with feet.
Yeah.
Like, you just leave them at the park. Go get them back later.
Leave them,
but-
tell them you can use it for Halibut next year. Oh, man. Oh, dude, that's great. So besides the strobe lights, it was a good time, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean, other than that, it was a really good time, and we for the most part we stayed at the hotel because it's Florida, it's hot, and my son has heart problems, so like we can't be like overheating them.
Right.
But that was cool because they had like a bunch of stuff to do at the hotel, and like we were singing karaoke together,
Oh, sweet.
which is awesome because like it's all kids down there,
Right.
and so all the kids down there are singing like why do you build me a boat? And my kids come on and they're like, all right, I want Clint Eastwood by the Gorillas.
Oh, my God. That is awesome. Holy crap. I love it.
Yeah. And,
Oh, your kids are awesome, man.
no, yeah, I have trained them to be way more awesome than I am.
Oh, good work.
Yeah.
That's the dream of every father.
No, yeah, but it was honestly an awesome time. I was really happy to be down there. But yeah, like I said, the strobe lights, man, that killed me.
Oh, dude, I hate strobe lights, too. I was at a friend's house. This is like back in like high school, right? Where it's like when we went to our friend's house to party, it meant we just went in his basement if his parents said it was okay. And we'd invite like any girls we could get to come hang out with us because we were all a bunch of fucking dorks, right? And we were having a party, right? So we're all hanging out, dancing, with music playing. And my buddy, he got like this little like home strobe light. And dude, I didn't mean to, but I had to like look right into it, and I was out. Like I didn't like go full unconscious, but I was dizzy as shit for a while. Like I had to step out of the party and hang out in his kitchen with his parents for a minute. It sucked. Like they came up later. It's like, Vince, where you been, man? What's going on?
That's what every good party needs. Just like chill out with the parents.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? But anyway, so let's move on from that. Let's talk about now. You got a show at Parkway Theater, right? Let's talk about that, man.
I got a open mic comedy show that we run every Friday at the Parkway, but you're probably referring to the Tim Cornette show with Eric Williams,
Yes,
myself. Yeah. That's going to be a fantastic time. I don't know if you've ever seen Tim Cornette, but he's honestly hilarious. He's really one of my. I'm not going to go overboard and say like top comics, but he's definitely a very good comic, and all of my shows are free. So I mean, you're not missing anything by coming out.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, it's
you hear
gonna
that,
be
people?
a rugged
Free
show.
entertainment. Free entertainment.
Well, it's not completely free. We ask you for tips.
Okay.
So you
Well,
come
donations
to
and
the
such.
you come to the show. Well, no, we don't call it donations. 'Cause, it just feels too much like let's just pity these poor comics.
Here's your money, Jester.
Yeah, but
okay, I got you. Tips, people.
Yeah, tips. So like we pass around a bucket. You throw some money in there, and then we divide that up among the comics.
Yeah, just walk around. It's like, okay, for any of you that go to church weekly, you know how it rolls. Just give it up.
You know what's funny? The first time I did that, I didn't even have the wherewithal to bring like a bucket with me.
Right.
So I just happened to have like 2 Chinese food containers.
Oh, that
in
is
my
awesome.
car. So I passed them around, and I go, and I said, just put some money in here. That's just like church, except instead of going to feed some African kids, this is going to starving people, which. Surprisingly, did not go over that great with the crowd. And this is the part where they're giving us the money. So they were like, yeah, I'm not going to do it now.
That's horrible, considering I bet none of those people are giving that 21 cents a month to those kids.
What are they doing with 21 cents?
I don't know.
But I'm just saying, like, up that amount. There's no reason that it should be less than $5.
Yeah.
Just say $5.
The freaking Leukemia Foundation just hit me up for 15.
15 a month?
No, just $15.
Oh, $15.
Yeah, to buy. Yeah,
But that's fair. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not like you're, going broke over it.
Yeah. So anyway, when exactly is this show? Just so the viewers know.
That is September 15th.
September 15th.
At the Parkway Theater in McKees Rocks, and it's a fabulous venue. It's at 8:00. So yeah, and like I said, it's a free show. So you just come out, hang out, have a good time, and you pay us whatever you think that we were worth.
All right, man. That sounds awesome. Well, Zach, thanks for coming on the show, man. Appreciate it coming
Vincent,
and talking.
thank you so much, man.
Hey, no problem. I hope the show's a great success. You're a good guy. I've known you for a while now, and Eric, of course, is a buddy of mine. Hope everything goes well, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All
We'll
right.
see you around.
Have a good one, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to our movie reviews of the night. Like I said, we're doing 2 tonight because we had to cancel last week. And first, we're going to talk about Melissa McCarthy's latest film, The Happy Time Murders. So the plot of this film is that it exists in a world where puppets are alive. They're citizens, they're living people. They have jobs and all that stuff, but like that too. Except they're the minority of this universe. Like the human people treat the puppets like crap, because the puppets used just to be entertained, and now they're just normal people having jobs. And one of the puppets is a former cop that's now a private detective who's. Yeah, it's a puppet film noir film as a comedy. It's a mouthful. A sling of puppet-related murders are going on, and he has to team up with his former police partner, played by Melissa McCarthy, to solve these murders. Now, it should be noted that this movie is the work of Brian Hansen, the son of Jim Hansen, the famous.
Wow.
Yeah, and he is in charge of. The Muppet Studios.
Yeah.
But this movie is part of HA Productions, which HA stands for Henson Alternative, meaning...
I thought they were just trying to say it was funny.
Yeah, you think. Foreshadowing. But anyway, yeah, so this studio is supposed to be like them making more like adult films with their puppetry, which kind of makes sense because they did some like they did Dark Crystal back in the day and Labyrinth, and you wouldn't think at first those are Jim Henson puppets because they're not the fuzzy kind like we usually see in the movies, but some impressive special effects work in those 80s films. But yeah, so this movie, Melissa McCarthy, she's so we got Melissa McCarthy. Her character's name is Detective Connie Edwards, and the puppet's name is Phil Phillips. He's the other main character. So when this movie was first announced, a lot of people were like, a dirty puppet comedy thing.
That's great. I think that sounds fun.
I liked it too, but there were some people who were having some backlash about it.
People are stupid.
I think a lot of it has to do with movies like that. The movie studios are throwing out so many weird or dumb concept movies.
That's a great concept, though.
I like it. I remember Crank Yankers on Comedy Central.
Yeah. Also, kind of reminds me of Avenue Q, which was fantastically popular and for good reason. So.
Oh yeah, I got some friends who are huge fans of that.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah. But yeah, so now unfortunately I'm going to say this movie, it's not horrible, but it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny.
So it's just
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I like it first. I like it, the idea of puppets.
Who wrote it? Did Henson write it?
Writers include Todd Berger, who did the screenplay, and let me take out all the credits. Writing credits: Todd Berger, D. Austin Robertson. So
no, Henson didn't write it. Okay.
No. He directed it, but he didn't. So at first, the movie starts out pretty funny. We start with the main puppet character, Phil Phillips, who's like this blue, looking puppet, but he's like he looks like a human. He's not like a bird or a dog or anything. He's a human style puppet. And he's kind of like the cop that like I said, he's a former cop. In fact, part of the plot of the movie that he was the first puppet cop.
Okay.
So
breaking boundaries.
Yes, indeed. But then something happened, and he was thrown off the force. And Melissa McCarthy, who was his partner, she doesn't like him anymore. So when we first meet them in the film, like they're giving each other attitude. And there's some actually, it's really funny at first because you see this puppet who's got like Mr. Badass attitude. Like I'm done with like I'm not putting up with the humans crap. All that stuff. And he's just kind of like he's sore, he's bitter. He does his job. And it's like a really adult humor, like sexual humor. There's a ton of sexual humor in the film.
Okay.
Including the, I'll call it the release scene that you see in the trailer. I'm sure people know what I'm talking about if you see in the trailer. And yeah, so it starts off. It's actually really funny, but the problem is about a third to halfway through the film, the whole puppet adult humor gimmick starts to like already kind of like, get a little stale, unfortunately. Another problem with the film, and I'm sorry to say this because I've enjoyed some of her work in the past. Not all of her work, but Melissa McCarthy, she's just not that great in this film.
Okay.
It just kind of feels like she's going through the Melissa McCarthy emotions. Like it's her kind of humor.
So you think she's becoming the Adam Sandler of comedy?
I hope not. Because Adam Sandler, he's like, we all loved Adam Sandler back in the day. Back in the 90s, he was on top. Great. And even since the 90s, he's done some good films, usually more the dramatic side than his comedy films. Because
his comedy films have just been awful.
Well, yeah.
Just awful.
Yeah, well, there's, he's just recycling it. It's like, oh my God, what's that old toy from back the day that you could it was a guy's face and you could pull the black stuff off on it to make it look like he's got hair? Wild Willie? Something like that? It just looks like it's the same movie, he just puts a different suit on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the movie does have some interesting stuff. There is world building in this movie. Part of the movie is puppet drugs, which are just sugary stuff. Just only one of the drugs is just a pixie stick thing, and another drug is syrup. It's all their drugs are sugar based stuff, right?
That's funny.
And Melissa McCarthy does some of the drugs in the movie, and she has right. Unfortunately, the weird thing is the more compelling character out of the two is Phil Phillips, the puppet character. It's once again, I like Melissa McCarthy, but her character, I think it's just because I don't know if I think she's kind of miscast. I think it would have been better to go with somebody else. But she's just not bringing the laughs like it did, and just a lot of the jokes they just kind of fall flat. I think only one time I had a good hearty laugh in the film. Oh. I had maybe one or two of those, but everything else is
kind of meh. Yeah.
I want multiple. It really gets me holding my chest. Holy crap! There's only one or two of those in the whole film.
Are there a lot of movies out there though that really make you laugh like that?
Yeah, they're kind of few and far between nowadays.
But I think that's the thing. We look back at history and we're like, oh, this era was when there were really good movies. But really, I think it's just there's only a few movies that stand out, and we remember those. And we're so often disappointed in the theater because not every movie is a slam dunk.
Oh yeah, not everything's a Blazing Saddles. Yeah. But yeah, so the movie goes on, and they have to solve the murder because it's a thing of murders of these puppets and who were on a TV show called the Happy Time Gang, and it was the first TV show in their world where it was mostly a puppet cast. There was one human on the show, but everyone and all this murder is going around, and Phil Phillips, he knew the cast. He actually one of the characters was his brother, one of the puppets.
Okay.
So this is a personal thing for him, and they're going around, and once again it just. Like I said, after a while, the puppet thing, the puppet humor just kind of goes about halfway through the film. And then towards the end of the film, we find out who the murderer is, and they reveal their plot and why they did it. Their motivation is good. I don't want to spoil, the killer's motivation is good. But then they start to unravel the reasoning why the murderer did things the way they did. And I know it's a comedy movie where puppets are living beings. I understand it. But once the murderer unravels their plan and why they did stuff, I'm just
yeah.
Wait, hold up. That doesn't make. But why? How did you? There's some holes in this right here. All right. I'm not talking about the hole in their ass where the hand goes through. There's some holes in this. But yeah, I mean, other stuff I said with some world building, there's actual puppet racial slurs in the movie. They call them they call puppets socks, a sock puppet as an insult.
That's great.
Yeah,
I like that.
There's actually some creativity to it in world building, but I think maybe this show would have done better as a TV show than a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm honestly, once again, it's not getting good ratings. Right on IMDb, it's got a 5.2 stars out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, I think it's at 52%. So
that's pretty bad too, because usually people tend to give better ratings. I feel like they tend to be friendlier with the rating system. Is that accurate? There's a lot of movies where I see it's okay ratings, and I think, wow, they're really not that good, but people probably feel bad for them.
Yeah, sometimes I think here's the thing. Like I said, there's a lot of people who think the whole concept of the film is bad. And the thing, I think you can take. Any concept for a film can be good if done right.
Mm-hmm.
There's whole when you really think about it. Think about Ghostbusters, original Ghostbusters movie. It's a movie about a team of losers who capture ghosts with nuclear laser beams.
Yes.
That sounds stupid, and it worked. They made it work because of good writing, good directing, good casting, or, even though Dan Aykroyd and Helen Ramis wrote the original script, but like played well. Everything was great on that. This could have done well. And like I said, it's not horrible. It's just because halfway through the movie things start to get a little stale.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of a movie that came out earlier this year called Bright. It was that Will Smith film where it's a buddy cop movie in a world where fantasy creatures are real, and his new partner is an orc, and it's the first orc police officer.
Okay.
Right? And it was kind of the same thing. It's like, like a buddy cop film of the older police officer who's got the new kid, and, he doesn't want to, I got to deal with this guy, and he's kind of racist towards him, right? But, it's just another kind of cop film with the partners, they don't like working with each other. But, they're going to like each other by the end of the film.
Yes.
So that's the second kind of buddy cop movie this year that I'm like, eh. And a lot of people are comparing it to Bright, too. I mean, Bright wasn't a comedy, but at least that's getting a sequel. There's no way the Happy Time Murders is getting a sequel. Even though, once again, I didn't think Bright was that great. A lot of people loved it. I thought it was okay. All right. But anyway, enough about the Happy Time Murders. Like I said, we're doing 2 movie reviews this week. Because
2 for 1.
2 for 1, exactly, baby. So we're moving out to a new release that came out. It's coming out tomorrow. Movie called Kin. That's K-I-N, Kin. The movie is about a young black boy who's part of a family. A troubled family in a way. They're just trying to, they're not the greatest of people. They're not evil people. They're not evil, but life is tough basically. His older, stepbrother just got out of prison. And his brother owes these gangsters. The head of the gangsters, played by James Franco, he owes them a lot of money, right? And at the beginning of the movie, the young boy named Eli finds a space gun or some kind of high-tech gun weapon, like an alien gun, something like that. And they're on the run from these gangsters, and they're on the run from what these alien things that are trying to get the gun back. So it's kind of like a family. It's like an adventure film in the sense they're on the road, on the run, and they got the space gun, and it's about family. You can tell part of the theme of the movie is family. However, I'm not too sure that the movie succeeds in the family area.
Oh wow! And that's the entire premise.
Yeah. It's
wow.
It's because the older brother's been in prison for 6 years. The younger brother who was adopted, and he feels like he's out of place because he was adopted. He feels like he doesn't really belong in the family. They kind of, it's like they rushed the bonding, right? Dennis Quaid plays the father in the film, and there's some nice bonding moments between him and the younger boy where you get they are father and son, right?
Okay.
Now the younger boy Eli, his older brother Jimmy, he comes back into the picture, and they go on this trip because they're on the run, right? And they had this one moment where he lets them in, this moment where this is supposed to be the bonding moment, and now they're going to go have fun together. But it wasn't good enough, right? They're supposed to have these moments right after that. Okay, now they're they're basically like brothers. They're on the road. They're having fun, right? And it's just that wasn't a good bonding moment. I never really felt that these two characters connected as family on an emotional level, and that, in my opinion, really hurt the film. And that's one thing. I felt like there was better bonding moments with the little kid and the other characters. Once again, bonding moments with Dennis Quaid, the father. Those worked.
Yeah.
There was actress Zoe Kravitz. She plays the character of Millie, this stripper they pick up along the way, right? Who's a stripper at a club run by
a family show with the stripper.
Yeah. No, it's a rough film. It makes you clear that their lives are pretty rough. That it's it takes place in Detroit, right? In the crappiest part of Detroit, because the economy there in that city is pretty bad. They pick up this she's a stripper that works at a strip club where the guy, the owner of the strip club is a monster, so she escapes with them, right? And Eli, the little boy, his bonding with Millie, the stripper, is better than the bonding with the brother. I feel more of a connection with those two than I do the two brothers. Another part of the problem is the older brother, Jimmy. I don't really care for his character that much. He's a man-child idiot. He just keeps making bad mistakes over and over again.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with characters like that make a lot of bad mistakes, but there has to be something about their character that's redeeming. Either they're really smart, maybe they're really funny, they're really charming, right? But I'm just not getting any of that from Jimmy as a character. Like, he's just this big idiot that keeps making things worse and worse. And I have to say, while he's trying to protect his little brother from the thing, then they got the space gun. The space gun comes out every once in a while. James Franco is in this film as well. He plays the leader of the gang. He's fine in it. He's like chasing them down because he wants his money and all that stuff. And oh man, I just there's only so much to say about this film. It's gonna be one of those films that's gonna be pretty forgettable.
Yeah.
Nobody's. let me check. What's the rating on IMDb right now? Let me check the rating. The rating is 5.6, so it's doing better than Happy Time Murders, but 5.6 isn't really anything to brag about.
And it sounds like it's a show that probably could do better in the ratings, because if a comedy is kind of people aren't going to be impressed, but something like this that people may have an emotional attachment and they're failing, it seems to reach that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and the special effects in it are good, right? Mm-hmm. The gun looks great. The little special effects they have for it are nice. The aliens that are also chasing them, like they don't know the aliens are after them at first because they're just they're dealing with the gang. The aliens are coming at them. The technology we see with them is good, some nice special effects. Camera work's not bad. I didn't really have much of a problem with the camera work. It was nothing fantastic, but And there's also a guest cameo in this movie, an actor, a notable A-lister actor that I didn't know, because you already got Dennis Quaid, who I know is kind of fallen somewhat from the graces due to he had drug and alcohol addiction, and he's not really in big movies right now, but he's still a good actor. I still like him a lot. I got Zoe Kravitz and James Franco. Performance-wise, everyone does fine. Nobody is really a standout performance in this film. And then we have a cameo from another big name actor I didn't know who was in the film at first, and they just pop out of nowhere. I'm like, holy crap. I'm not gonna say who it is, but it's somebody that I like.
Gotta watch it to find out. Yeah,
you gotta watch it to find out or not. But yeah, and at the end, this is a minor spoiler. They're totally setting it up for a sequel.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, that ain't happening, man. It's not going down. I'd like to see, because what they set up for the sequel, I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I want to see that movie, but I'm not gonna get to now unless fucking Netflix picks it up.
Yeah.
Because they're known to do that shit.
No one's gonna.
But yeah, so unfortunately, like I said, there's really not much more to say about this film. So I'll get to it. So, Happy Time Murders, going back to Happy Time Murders real quick, do I recommend you go see it? Kind of, not really. I mean, if you're a fan of puppet stuff, maybe. And for Ken, I'll put it this way. Either one, if you really want to go see either one, I would recommend going to see it on your theater's deal day. A lot of theaters here in Pittsburgh have a deal day where, this day of the week, tickets are really cheap, or maybe you get a free little popcorn or something like that. Go to your theater's deal day. If not, I'd just wait till this comes out on video or Netflix or something like that. I would just wait. I wouldn't spend full ticket price on either of these films, unfortunately. So yeah, that's all I really got to say about those films. All right, so we're going to come to the end of the show now. Before we sign off and all that, there's something I want to mention. This past week was the 25th anniversary of Power Rangers, a show that I was a huge fan of as a kid, and it's still actually on the air now. It's not
forever.
Yeah, Disney owned it. Disney owned it for a while. Then it was owned by Saban Brands, then bought by Disney. They went back to Saban Brands, and now Saban Brands just sold it to Hasbro. So the show's still going. So congratulations. Considering it was a show where they just took Japanese animation and spliced it with American footage, it's gone very long. So congratulations to Power Rangers. But yeah, like I said, that's our show tonight. I want to thank Brian for filling in for Eric.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, no, anytime, man, anytime. Thank you all for tuning in. We're going to be here every Thursday night live streaming. If you're watching this, if you're listening to us on the River's Edge Network, thank you for tuning in there. Any view is appreciated. But until next time, I'm Vincent. And thank you for viewing things through our perspective. Take it easy, everybody.